Hey lovelies, you're welcome back to Reviews and Recaps. Let's get into today's video. Today I want to talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville updates. So the trailer came out and I want to talk about all the things that has happened since the trailer came out. It's been a madness in these YouTube streets. We gonna break it down. And after that, we're going to go live later today so we can talk about all of it in more detail. So yeah, you guys please show up for that. Would be 4 p.m. Eastern time, 9 p.m. UK time. Please hit that subscribe button, and everyone please like, share, and don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section below. Now let's get into it. So I don't know if you guys have seen the trailer before, but I watched the trailer. I watched it a few times because I was like, do you know what? I want to make sure that my reaction is I'm picking out the things I do want to talk about and I'm not missing anything crucial. Now, I wanted to talk about, first of all, the fact that it seems like Martell is getting a lot of camera time. Now, I know it's just a trailer and, you know, they say like, oh, you can't go by a trailer and whatnot. But if a trailer that is only meant to be a few seconds is then, or a few minutes rather, is then done and it almost seems like Martell is the center of the trailer, then I feel like it's given Martell is going to be the center of this season, which I absolutely do not like because it feels like he's been rewarded with camera time for bad behavior. Like, why are we rewarding someone who's been arrested for harassing communications? Like, why are we doing that? It's almost like the one thing I feel like Martell loves is attention, and it feels like with this new season we will be giving him a lot of attention, which I personally do not like. Now, on the flip side of it, it feels like for the first time ever on the show, we'll be seeing a little bit of accountability towards Martell's direction. Now, we know it's not going to last very long because Marsau had the audacity to do the hashtag free Martell, so it couldn't have been that serious to them. But let's talk about the alleged intervention that we saw on the screen, right? So Maurice, Marsau, and Martell, and it felt like they were calling him to order for doing the interview with Tasha K. It was just like, why would you do that to your family? All of that. And I agree with that because it's just like in his mind, he really thought like he was going to go on the Tasha K interview and expose melodyshari and end up being a fan favorite, but instead he ended up even being hated the more because people are like, for you to go to that extent to want to paint this woman in such a negative, terrible light, but you're the same person who is always acting like you want to manifest that relationship, you want the old flame back. Like, nobody can put anything past you and nobody is really going to be like, oh my god, Martell is a good guy. No, everyone sees you for who you are. And so I personally feel like the Martell Holt interview with Tasha K backfired. Now, that is my opinion. You guys may have a different opinion, but let me know what you guys think about that in the comment section below. I personally felt like it was a waste of time. He really shouldn't have bothered. I think he was expecting that to change the perspective that people have of him, but it didn't. I think one thing Martell needs to realize is what he's trying to get. Like, he's trying to become a fan favorite. The way he's going about it is not the way to do. And you know what's so interesting? If Martell wanted to be a fan favorite, he could easily become a fan favorite. Because the thing about it is, a lot of people already like him even though they hate him. Does that make sense? So it's like people don't be liking him, but they still watch him. They still are sort of attracted to his looks or whatnot. So if he just behaved better, people would be like, oh, let's forgive Martell, let's move on, all that sort of thing. People already say let's move on now, and he's still behaving like this. So imagine if he actually turned a new leaf. Most people would be like over it and be like, okay, let's move on. And also the lights and focus would then be turned on Maurice and Marsau a lot more. I think the thing about Martell is because of his behaviors, he has made it hard for the focus to be turned on any other member of the show. Because the truth of the matter is, if Martell wasn't so horrible and continues to do horrific things, people would be focusing on storyline with Marsau. People would be like, I want to know what's going on with Marsau. People would want to know what's going on with Maurice in their relationship. It just feels like he's able to get away with doing the barest minimum because everyone is focused on Martell Holt. And Martell makes it easy for everyone to focus on him. Honestly, he does. Because when you look left, Martell has done some more madness. And you're like, seriously, like, I left you for 1 second and you've already gone rogue. And so this is the problem with Martell. Now let's talk about what has then happened since the trailer was dropped. Now, just before that, I want to sort of finish talking about the trailer, then I'll talk about what has happened with Martell calling out Marsau and Reese online. So we're going to get into all of that, don't worry, and I have all of the proof for you guys, so don't worry. But let's quickly talk about the other bits of storylines that we saw from the trailer. So now, for instance, one of the things that I also noticed that I wanted to talk about is the fact that it seems that Tisha and Nell gets into it. Now, Tisha, I don't know what happened because we haven't seen enough, but I think the one thing I would say is I don't like when someone calls me a name that I don't call myself. If I tell you my name is Yi, then you call me Yi. Don't call me Angela, for instance. Like, I just don't appreciate when people do that. So I would be interested, of course. I'm going to give everyone a fair shot this season. So I want to see what Tisha comes with and see whether or not she's at fault from my perspective with the whole nail situation. But it looks like it almost got into a physical altercation. And I'm just like, what in the craziness? Like, and I could almost bet like it's not something that should escalate to that extent. It's like, seriously, what is that serious for you guys to almost get into a physical altercation? Like, that is just absolutely weird to me because it's not like you guys were like tight. Now, from the trailer, it did look like they had started to develop some sort of friendship or relationship outside of the show. But even at that, like, to get to the point where we're gonna be physical, like, no ma'am. The other thing from the trailer that I wanted to talk about is I believe Stormy's friend is also friends with Martell or had done something with Martell. That is absolutely so weird. It's almost giving like, who hasn't Martell been with in Huntsville? Because like, I don't know if you guys remember the manager that came on that works with Martell. She was trying to pretend like she had never done anything with Martell until Martell in the same vein exposed her and said that, you know, something about doing something whilst they were in high school. And I'm just like, who hasn't Martell been with? It's just like, it's so weird. It's like, you've been with everybody in Huntsville at this point. Like, I'm just like, who else is going to come on the show and then we'll find out that Martell has been with again? I will not be surprised. But the thing about it is, even dealing with Martell is exposing yourself because he is going to sing like a canary. I've never met someone who cannot keep his mouth shut. It's the same way in the scene with the manager. He was like, yeah, acting like they had never done anything, but then in the same vein still slipped up. I'm like, guy, you can't keep no secrets. Like, you can't. It's like, what is going on, sir? Like, you can't keep your mouth shut and say like, you know, we grown, like it's nobody's business. That could have been the end of it. But Martell, I feel like he loves it anyway. He loves being able to be like, I've been there, done that. He's one of those people that you don't want them to be your ex. You don't want to have ever had a thing with them. Nothing. Is like, go the left way, let me go the other way. Did you also notice when Martell said something about Law is starting to look like him? I'm like, dude, are you trying to insinuate that you and Destiny had something? Like, please, I don't even think I can take it. But I'm not going to put anything past nobody. I will say that. But it's just weird. Anyways, let's talk about the aftermath of the trailer. Let me say it's going down in the Instagram streets, honey. It really is going down. So Martell decided to go on his Instagram and then he arted Marsau and said, you and Tisha never had any type of infidelity in your marriage and she do whatever you say. So where is your wisdom coming from? Ooh, Oops. Well, that is a valid question, I will say. Now, we don't like who the question is coming from, but that sounds like a valid question. It's like, you've never really experienced infidelity, but where is all these your advice coming from? It's giving one of those people that always have advice for you, but then when you ask them if they've experienced it, like, oh no, that has never happened to me. But you know, I have all this advice I think you should take. And it's like, dude, stop playing. So I know we may not like the messenger, but the message, I will say, is correct. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Now let's move on to the next thing that happened, honey. So then he added Maurice, so that's Maurice, and then said, you're more like Mel and I'm like Kiowa. So do you really understand what I'm going through? I'm like, what do you mean by that? How is Maurice and Mel alike? Like, I have a lot of questions. Like, now that's something I would love to get some clarification about that. Like, I need some clarity. So Martell, if you hear this, like, and you want to give us some clarity on that, please expatiate. I don't like just blanket statements like that we can't make head or tails of. So let's understand the context, sir. Not that we'll agree with you, but at least let's understand what you're saying about Maurice. Guess who responded? Maurice. So Maurice said at Martell, even with this analogy, I do understand and I still hold firm there is a better way. And I agree, there is a better way. There is no reason for you to go on a YouTube channel dogging your ex-wife. That is insane. It's never going to be cool to me, right? But then again, on the list of all the things that you have done, this is probably just one extra one. I'm surprised the men aren't really holding him accountable for the revenge piece situation, but holding him accountable for going to Tasha K. Are we serious? Like, on a scale of 1 to 10, with higher severity being 10, which one has the highest amount of severity? Like, unless I would watch the season and realize that they were holding him accountable for all of them, all of the issues, then I'll be like, okay, cool. But for now, it's like, okay, he went on Tasha K versus trying to release Revenge P. Are we serious? Like, which one on a scale of 0 to 10, it has the most severity? So anyways, let's move on to what Martell then said again, because it was like a back and forth, honey. It was back and forth. Martell said, you didn't feel there was a better way when you needed what you wanted from your wife? Angry face, you forcible guy, you. Whoa. When I tell you I gagged, I was like, what? No, seriously. Now, Martell, you're no far from him, though. This is the thing. I'm just like, it's like the pot calling the kettle black, and that's why no one is really receiving the message that you were saying. Now, a lot of the things you're saying, it'd be like, if we ignore the messenger for a second, there is some credence to what it is you're saying, Martell. But it's just, the whole thing is just funny to me. Now, here's the thing that made me feel like that's crazy. Maurice responded and said, the best person to ask is the person who you believe was the person wronged in the situation. They will completely disagree with your position, but even then, there is a better way. Now, I was like, Maurice, where's all the smoke that you had for allegedly here for hot tea? But like, you don't have the smoke for your friend calling you out and saying, where was the better way when you needed what you wanted from your wife, you forcible guy? From what he's saying, he's insinuating a lot of things, which I would think you would say from your reputation, you want to protect your reputation. So why would you tolerate your friend or ex-friend or whatever you want to call Martell saying that about you and then being calm in your response towards him? This is what I don't understand. It's like the things you lot should be angry and pissed about, you're not pissed about, because it's almost like Martell knows where all the bodies are buried. And they know that if they go off too much on Martell, Martell is going to go straight to hell and then out everybody. And I feel like that's what they're trying to protect, because it doesn't make any sense. Why don't you have that same energy? Keep the same energy from Martell all across the board. Now, one thing to also add to this whole thing is that Tisha responded to the stray pow pow, because, you know, I don't want to say certain things, that her marriage received. And she's saying, I don't care what nobody say about marriage. I am very much proud to be in love and married. And you know what? I love that for you, Tisha. I actually love the fact that you are being honest about that, because I feel like normally you don't come across as honest, and you make it seem like your man was doing whatever you would leave, when you both know that you know what he's done allegedly and never left, right? It's okay for you to say, I love being married, I want to continue to be married. That is fine. Nobody is going to hold a GU thing to your head. Everybody is going to be cool with that. It's your marriage at the end of the day. What people don't want is the fact that you try to act dumb and act like you want the information, and then when the information is given to you, you then find a way to minimize it. Like, act like Nell. The way Nell comes across, she ain't never leaving that man. She does not want to leave Chris, right? So whatever comes up, she is not leaving that man. I think we all know that, right? And nobody is trying to come for her or give her receipts or proof or anything. Not saying that Chris is doing anything. I'm just saying. But you, on the other hand, you act like, oh no, if my man does this, I'm gonna leave, when you know you ain't gonna be going nowhere. So I like this, Tisha. Keep this up. Now that's all I gotta say today. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Let's continue the conversation, and come with me, join the live video today. It would be 4 p.m. Eastern time, and maybe we can be doing it like every Mondays for now and see how we get on. Yeah, so everybody, don't forget to like, subscribe, make sure you share, and let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And let's continue the conversation, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.